right, so I don't know what was different about you today, but something looked really different. You look free, you look, really aggressive, and you look really comfortable. What am I onto something there? Or?
Yeah, I think 2 out of the 3 scrimmages I played the point, so I was forced to do a little bit more, I think. So that was probably it. I think the biggest thing is just finding ways to do that when I'm not at the point, because obviously like Braden's going to have a lot of those minutes, and that'll come with time. But I think just being aggressive, just continuing to do that. I think the biggest thing I've taken is like, we've always talked about my shot. And I'm not going to stop working on it, but like I'm not going to let that, like I can make 0 threes this year, I'm not going to let that like affect everything else. Like if I do everything else, like it really shouldn't matter for me, at least in my opinion and in the coach's opinion. So that's the mindset I've kind of taken, and then obviously you keep working on the other stuff to be good at it, but you don't let it weigh you down in a negative way.
You've always had really good basketball instincts. Does that come out more when you've got the ball as opposed to when you're standing around and having to think about things?
Maybe a little bit, but it's all relative to who you're playing with. Like obviously when you're playing with Zach, you want to get him the ball as much as possible. And when you're playing against him, you kind of want to put him in as many ball screens as possible. Like at least, we're doing this kind of stuff. So it just depends who you're playing with. And what the scout is. So different games call for different things, but the one thing I can always bring is my defense. Yeah. And then just my decision making, and then, today I happened to make a couple mid-ranges and just kind of keep being aggressive with that and trying to get to the rim as much as possible.
The thing, that really stood out your sophomore year was just whenever Purdue needed something, needed a gap to be filled or whatever, you were always that guy who was versatile enough, smart enough, understanding enough to do that. Can you maybe do a little more of that this year?
For sure. I think that's one of my best. Just doing as many things to help us as we can. So like I've always said, whatever we need to do, I can do it, and I need to do it the whole year, not for a quarter of the year, not for half of the year, not pick and choose. It's got to be every game.
You didn't look today like you missed any practice. You missed a ton of practice here the last couple of weeks. It all just kind of came back to your good shape, all that stuff.
I think defensively, it came back quickly just because I've seen it all. Yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff now. So a lot of times, like we talked about when I was younger, it's all like you can know what's going on, but if you haven't had the reps, you're still going to be half a second off. So from that perspective, like I knew as soon as I came back, like I could be on top of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe the offense, maybe getting my legs back, being in shape, maybe shooting. Like that might take some time. That might come out. That might come a month, about 2 months, whatever. But like I knew that was going to be on when I came back. So just taking it one day at a time has been the biggest thing for me. Not before, I think I would stress myself out about like, oh, I missed time, like I'm way behind. I gotta spin it positively, so I think that's good for me.
You just seem so comfortable and confident right now. That's always been the key for you, right?
For sure, yeah. And it's early, I'm not going to get too excited about a scrimmage against ourselves. We're going to see really good teams all year, and we're going to get everybody's best shot. So I'm not jumping up and down celebrating it. Obviously, it's a good day. I still lost 2 games, so that's not up to my standards. But just build on it and just there's still so many areas for me to grow, so just keep getting better and, one day at a time.
Hey, tell me about your guys' upside defensively this year. Where can you get better? You took a big step last year.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just everybody has another year under their belt playing with each other. So like the freshmen, and they already knew what was going on. Now they've done it and they know what's going on. So there's no that half second thinking. Like everybody knows what's going on, and everybody on this team has such great IQ. So you can play off your instincts. Like Braden's great at it, Fletcher's really good at it. All the fours are good at it. Doubling with Zach or Zach staying one-on-one like Zach's. Like we're all really good at it. So just at the end of the day, it's about being solid. Obviously, knowing personnel, knowing the scouting report. And then you play free when you don't think about it. When you're thinking about it too much, that's when you get in trouble. Just play free and go off the scout and do the best you can.
Right. This doesn't have a whole lot to do with you, but you're a smart guy who can probably analyze it for me. Just the lineups of Zach and Trey playing together, how is that going? And
really hard to guard. Really hard to guard. Sorry to cut you off there, but really hard to guard. It just puts so much pressure on the rim, whether it's a ball screen, because you obviously can have Trey glass as the ball screen's occurring, vice versa. the double teams in the post, Trey's a monster at the rim, or vice versa. Like, it just puts a lot of pressure on the rim. Obviously, there'll be some teams that scout and adjust and whatever, but I just think it's super hard for teams to handle that. And we'll continue to grow with it as long you're going to get more experience as you play with it more. So I think we'll continue to grow, but it's been really great.
Anything that has to happen outside of those two guys to keep the floor spaced out?
I just think we got to do our rules, because I think even if you don't have three guys out there around them that are dead-eye shooters, like, there's so much pressure and at the rim, like, you can get a lot of steals and drives, you can get a lot of, just guys over-helping and rotations, and then playoff, it doesn't always have to be like a kick-out shot. It can be a lot of different stuff. So I think just continuing to acknowledge, like, we always want to put people in rotations, making plays out of it.